Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be demonstrating a couple of new tools available for Simple GIS Client. Actually, one of them is just a version upgrade, and that is the version 2 release of our Simple GIS Collaborate plugin. And this is a plugin extension available for Simple GIS Client. And the other tool I'll be demonstrating is a new freely available Simple Map Viewer application. And this is a free download available from the website at www.simplegissoftware.com. And these two tools were designed to work in tandem to allow users of Simple GIS Client to publish maps into a portable map document format that would then allow you to share these documents with other colleagues or clients or customers that could then use the Simple Map Viewer application to view these documents, and it would provide an interactive map that they could then view, pan, query features in this map document, as well as viewing any attribute data or supplemental documents linked to features in layers contained in that map, such as photos, PDF documents, spreadsheets, etc. So to begin the demonstration, the first thing you would need to do is, if you have not already, is to install the Simple GIS Collaborate plugin into your Simple GIS Client environment. And so to do that, when you first launch Simple GIS Client, of course, the first screen you come to is this initial screen where you can create a new project, or you can open an existing project by selecting the appropriate menu located along the left-hand side of your application window. In addition, if you were to move your mouse downwards along this left-hand side, you would see several links here. And the very last link is called Plugins. And as you click on this link, it will actually open the Simple GIS Client Plugins Manager dialog. And in this dialog, you would see all available plugins listed for Simple GIS Client. And as you select a particular plugin, you would notice on the right-hand side of the dialog a description of the plugin, as well as a status telling you whether the plugin is installed in your current environment, and also a button that would allow you to download the installer for that plugin if it's not already installed. And then you could just simply run that installer to install the plugin. It would also tell you if there was any price associated with the plugin as well. Next to each plugin name is also a URL that you could click on to be brought to the web page to view more detailed information about the plugin. So in this particular case, the plugin we're going to be demonstrating today is the Simple GIS Collaborate plugin. And if I select this plugin in this list, again I see its brief description here on the right hand side of the dialog. And in this case I see that this particular plugin I've already installed in my current environment. I also see that there is a small price associated with this plugin of $15 per license. However, it does come with a free 30-day trial if you want to try it out. So if I needed to install this plugin, I would simply click the Install Now to download the installer and then run the installer to actually install it. In this case, the plugin, as I said, is already installed, so I do not need to reinstall it. So I'm simply going to come in the lower left hand corner of this dialog and select the Close Plugin Manager button. And for the purpose of this demo, I've went ahead and created a project, so I'm going to go ahead and open that project. And as I open this project, I'm going to see that I have a project with two layers loaded. I have a base map consisting of the OpenStreetMap web mapping service, and then I have a shapefile of property boundaries. And for this particular shapefile, I see that I have the particular layer is the blue border with the blue hatch pattern, and I've actually created a custom data form for this layer already, and I've associated and linked in some supplemental documents to the features in this layer using those custom data forms. And so I can view this data while my properties is my active layer in my table of contents, which it is, as I can see by the green shading. If it wasn't, if I was to click the OpenStreetMap layer, I see that it's now in the active layer. But again, I'm going to make properties my active layer by simply clicking on it so that it becomes shaded. And then if I was to view the feature data using this View Feature Data tool, if I was to click on this particular property, I would see that this is the custom data form that I designed, along with the attribute data. And some of this attribute data is actually referencing a document linked to this particular feature. So I have a PDF document, and then I also have a photo, as I can see here in this part of my data dialog. I also have a couple of bookmarks. If I was to look in the lower left-hand corner of my Simple GIS Client application, I see that I have a couple of bookmarks I've created for the clients representing the different property sites. So if I was to go to site number 2 and use the zoom to bookmark, I see that I have now zoomed the map to this new property boundary. And if I was to look at the data on this property, I see that I have this attribute data associated with this property boundary with a different PDF document linked to this feature and a different photo as well. Now, as I said, I already have the Simple GIS Collaborate plugin loaded, and as a result, if I was to look at my pull-down menus at the top of my Simple GIS Client application, I would notice I have a new menu called Simple GIS Collaborate. And if I click on this menu, I can see that kind of in the middle of the drop-down, I have a new menu selection called Publish Portable Map Document. So to begin, I'm going to click on this menu. And this particular instance of the plugin that I've loaded, I have not registered with a valid license key, so I see that I'm still running the trial version, and I have 7 days remaining on my trial version. So I'm just going to dismiss this for now. And now I get a new dialog box that says Publish Portable Map Document. Now it's from within this dialog, the first thing I can do is select the drive and then the folder of where I want to create my portable map document at. As I select a folder, if I was to navigate and select a folder, on the right hand side of this selection, if there were any existing portable map documents in that folder location, they would be listed here. Alternatively, instead of creating a portable map document on a folder location of my current drive structure, I could also publish this portable map document directly to Dropbox. So if I had a Dropbox account, I could simply check this box. I would then get a login dialog where I would log into my Dropbox account, and then this area would show me the available Dropbox folders that I could select, and then publish my portable map document directly into that Dropbox folder. So for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm just going to overwrite an existing document file that I have in this folder location. So to overwrite an existing document, I can simply double click on the document name. And as I do that, I would notice that it would place that file name in the center part of my dialog here underneath the Enter File Name for New Package Map label. And if you notice that our portable map documents have a file extension of SPMD. If I did not want to overwrite an existing document file, but I wanted to create a brand new document file, I could simply remove that out of this text box and type in a new file name for my map document. In this case, I am just going to overwrite this existing portable map document. So I'm going to come back up and double click on this file name to place that back in this edit box. I could also, if my Simple GIS Client project had a local geocode database that it was configured to use. So for instance, the local street map project template, if you create a project based off of that template, it downloads the OpenStreetMap for the state you select to your local machine, and in addition it includes a local geocode database that allows you to locate addresses or look up addresses. If you didn't have a local geocode database, a Simple GIS Client uses the U.S. Census Geocoder service to try and get a coordinate for any address you might enter. Well, the Simple Map Viewer application behaves the same way. So if my Simple GIS Client project did have a geocode database, a local geocode database, if I was to check this box to include that database, then my portable map document, that database will be rolled into that portable map document and stored as part of that portable map document. And then if I was to open that map document in the Simple Map Viewer application, it would use that local geocode database that was incorporated with that map document. Otherwise, if the map document does not include a geocode database, then the Map Viewer application will attempt to use the U.S. Census Geocoder service to get coordinates for any street addresses that a client may be trying to look up. Now, by default, I would recommend not including the geocode database as long as your client or customer has internet connectivity, simply because it will save a great deal on your portable map document size. So in that case, as long as your client or customer has internet connectivity, when you send them this portable map document, the Map Viewer application will just use the U.S. Census Geocoder service to try and locate any address that may be entered. The only time I would recommend including the geocode database is if you are sending a document to a client that did not have or was not going to have internet connectivity all the time, so they needed to be able to view the document offline, and they were going to need to locate addresses and what have you. Or if you had created a custom geocode database, something specific around the map that you're publishing, then you may want to include it. Otherwise, again, I would leave this unchecked. You can also password protect your document by simply checking this password protect checkbox. And as you check that box, then you would need to just type in your password here in this edit box next to this checkbox. And it can be any alphanumeric character or special characters, and there's really not any length limit as well. So you just simply type in the password you're going to use, and this way nobody will be able to open this portable map document unless they have this password to enter, or they'll be prompted to enter a password to be able to open the document. So again, if you needed to do any type of protection around a sensitive document or something, you could password protect it. So once you have your settings set, you just simply click apply, and it will begin packaging your map document. Once it's complete, the dialog box will be dismissed, and so now it has created that portable map document. And in fact, I'm going to go down and open my Windows Explorer, and I can see as I navigate to this folder where I select it to save this portable map document, it actually shows up here. And again, it has the SPMD file extension. Now, if your client has the Simple Map Viewer application installed on their machine, and you send them this portable map document either through some type of shared Dropbox or some type of cloud sharing file service, or depending on the size, you may even be able to email it to them. As they get this file, this document, they can simply double click on it to open it within the Simple Map Viewer application. And again, your clients, they can download this Simple Map Viewer application from free If they simply go, and I'm going to open up the web page, if they go to www.simplegissoftware.com and go to the products page, so click on the products menu, and as you scroll down the page, at the very bottom you'll see the Simple Map Viewer application. And again, just want to stress, this is a free application. So once your clients or your customers download this application, they'll be able to open and view these portable map documents that you've published. And so they can just click on this Simple Map Viewer Details button to be brought to the Simple Map Viewer application detailed page. And here they can simply come and click the Download Now button to download the installer for the Simple Map Viewer application. Once the installer downloads, they would just need to simply run it to install the application on their machine. The only requirements is that the Simple Map Viewer does require Windows 7 operating system or higher. So Windows 7, Windows 10, those systems are fine. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the Simple Map Viewer application. So I had an icon on my desktop, but I actually have the application running in my tray. So I'm just going to open up the Simple Map Viewer application, and this is what it would look like when the client first launches the application. So initially, of course, we don't have any document open, so it appears as just an empty map. Again, they could have just double-clicked on a document file that you sent them to go ahead and open the document in this application, or they can also just go underneath the File menu, select the Open Portable Map document, and at this point then they would just navigate to the location of where the portable map document is saved at and double-click to open it. And again, since this document was password protected, it's going to prompt them to enter the password before it will open the document. Once they enter the password, it would then open the document, and then I would see that it looks very similar to what we had published when we were in Simple GIS Client. Again, I have the two layers loaded. I have OpenStreetMap already loaded as my base map, which is a web mapping service, and then I have my property shapefile loaded as well, which indicates these property boundaries. And again, that portable map document had all of the data self-contained in it, along with any custom data forms that was created and supplemental document files. So I can view that just by making my properties layer the active layer. I'm going to select this View Feature Data tool, and then if I simply click on this polygon boundary, I see that it does in fact contain the custom data form that was created, and as well as the attribute data, and here are the linked documents as well. And I can show that just by simply clicking on this document, and I see that it will launch and open that document and whatever the program is associated with that document type on your machine. Likewise, I could double click on the photo to open up a large image of the photo in whatever photo viewing software is associated with those photo types on the client's machine. So in addition, if you remember in our Simple GIS Client map, we had created some bookmarks. And I see that this portable map document also preserved these bookmarks if I look in the lower left-hand corner of the application. So I see I have a Site 1, Site 2, so I can select a particular bookmark, click the Zoom to Selected Bookmark button, and it brings me to that new location. And again, I can use this View Feature Data tool to click on this property boundary, and now I see its attribute data, again with the other linked documents associated with that feature. The Simple Map Viewer application also allows the clients to measure features on the map So they can use this Measure Features tool. And since I have my properties as my active layer, again, it's still my active layer, they can set their units that they want to report measurements in. So in this case, I'm going to leave it set to the default feet for distance. Area is going to be reported in acres. And then I can use this Select Features tool to actually select the property boundary. And when I click on that property boundary, I see that it gives me the measurements here at the bottom of the dialog. So the perimeter around this particular property boundary is about 31,808 feet. And the area of this particular property is 910 or roughly 911 acres. They can also pan and zoom in on this map. So I'm going to use my mouse wheel, and as I scroll my mouse wheel, I see that I can zoom in, I can zoom out by pulling back on the mouse wheel. In addition, I can pan on the map. So I'm going to use my center mouse button to just simply click and then drag to pan the map. I can also use this zoom and pan tools on the map itself. So I can use this zoom to rect to actually zoom in around the area by clicking and dragging. And it'll zoom to the rectangle I drew on the map. In addition, I can also perform queries on features in the map. So on these property boundaries, if I wanted to perform a query on the attribute data on this layer, I simply click this Query by Layer Attributes tool. And I can actually come and select the field that I want to query by. So if I want to query by a particular track ID, I could build my query and click Apply and then Close. And then it would query and zoom to the results of that query. So now I see that it brought me to this particular property that has that track ID. If I had multiple layers added, like different shape files or vector layers, I could also do spatial queries. So for instance, if I had another layer of markers or points and I wanted to find all points within a certain polygon boundary, I'd be able to do a spatial query and do that type of selection as well. So again, this just provides a way to give interactive maps to clients or customers, and it could be a little bit more useful than, say, just producing a PDF map or something of an area. You'd actually be able to give them an interactive map that they can pan around on, zoom in on, do queries, and also view this supplemental data too. I think that's one of the powerful features, is that if you have custom data forms and you have some attribute data, you can display that data in a nice form along with the supplemental information, like if you had any linked photos or documents to support these features or tied to any features on your map. So hopefully this will be some useful tools, and so I hope this demo was somewhat useful. If you need more information about it, as always, just visit the website. Again, the home page is www.simplegissoftware.com, and if you just go underneath the products menu, and if you scroll down here, you can get information about the available Simple GIS plugins. So if I click on this, you can see we have, like I said, about 3 different plugins available, but this is the Simple GIS Collaborate plugin. This tells you a little bit about it here. And if you want to view the Simple Map Viewer application, if you go back to the products menu and scroll to the bottom of the page, you'll find the information about the Simple Map Viewer application, and you can click on this View Details button to be brought to the actual details about the Simple Map Viewer application, as well as the download button to download the application. So appreciate your time, and again, hope this was useful. Thank you.